Hello and welcome to another preview on the channel, and this weekend we look ahead to Tondela vs Porto as the title suggests. Going into this one, Porto are currently first in the table, whilst Tondela are currently sitting third bottom, just above the relegation zone of Liga Portugal. But for Porto, it's been mostly good so far, currently unbeaten in the league, won every game bar one. Last time beat Estoril Praia, which was good to get at that win, considering how dirty, how close even Estoril made it. But Porto, they didn't play their hat and the best way they could have possibly done, and they missed a few chances too, which does kind of get me onto something I have been thinking about for quite a bit of time, and that's I think when the January transfer window comes in, we've got to bring in some more wide players. I like Pepe, I like William Gomez, and boy, Oyasain's has been doing all right too. Ooh, I've got nothing against him for the record. But it feels like there's not enough efficiency in the goals or assists in the way that Samu has been doing, and even the other strikers have proved it. But they've got a whole month to prove me wrong. And then going back to even the past four league games where Porto have only won by one margins, albeit they have won by hefty margins against teams in the Taça de Portugal and also against Nice in the Europa League. But considering that Porto are heavy favourites, I'm not worried about that too much here. However, the margins are tightening up in some of these other games. But I think that's going to be something I'll explore further once the competition in the league does get better than what Tondela can provide. And then, of course, you did have Porto losing at home to Vitória Guimarães, courtesy of Vitória turning the game from 1-0 down, plus with two penalties, and Porto are out of the Taça de Liga.
Oh no! Anyway.
Yeah, so that gives Porto a few less games to worry about. That's the least important competition that they're involved with. To my knowledge at the moment, there are no injuries and suspensions, so I would imagine the strongest lineup will likely play, considering Porto rotated on Thursday night. Albeit there is the Malmo at home game coming up, but that should be a game that Porto are expected to win regardless. And looking at Tondela, currently third bottom of the table, as I mentioned earlier, they did manage to get a result away. In fact, last weekend they won away to Gil Vicente, so tight loss at home to Vitória Guimarães. Though generally they have been struggling, and to be fair, there wasn't much expectation on them. But you could argue that, but certainly the Gil Vicente away win is a step in the right direction. Is it enough against this Porto side? I don't think so, and I'll credit Sam Fonseca here because he did give me some players that we should look out for. Bernardo Fontes, the goalkeeper player I got in the thumbnail. He played either very well against Benfica and Sporting CP. They've got pretty good midfield players like Joe Hodge and Juan Rodriguez, but as Sam also mentioned to me, their strikers and wingers are pretty awful. There could be question marks if Tondela were to get at a goal, especially from open play. For my prediction, confident on this one. I don't know if we'll necessarily get at back to what we were seeing at the start of the season, but I would expect something a bit better here, but maybe we'll see a drop in quality of opposition, given that Tondela don't really compare to like a Braga, a Moreirense, a Famalicão, even an Estoril. But my prediction, I'm going to say Tondela 0, Porto 3. Porto definitely should be winning this. I think they can definitely get goals here. The only thing that might keep them at bay, besides some poor finishing, is Fontes in goal, given that he has done well against the top Lisbon clubs. So let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel this game's going to go? Let me know your thoughts and your predictions. And until next time, Forza Porto.